The time is 6 o'clock on November 16th, 2023, for the regular board meeting of the Vernon Hills Park District Board of Commissioners is called to order. With those present, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Geraldo.
Here.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Here.
Commissioner Robbins.
Here.
Vice President Senti.
Here.
President Dorhofer.
Here. The first item on the agenda tonight is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and or non-controversial and be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus vote agenda for this evening are the minutes of the meeting dated October 26, 2023 regular board meeting, minutes of the October 30th, 2023 special board meeting, and payables and payroll through November 14th, 2023 in the amount of $903,211.76. May I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo.
Yes.
Vice President Senti.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes. Next item is Superintendent Mitchell. Are there any changes to the financial reports for the period ending October 30th, 2023? Perfect, thank you. At this time, we'd like to open up to your remarks from the public. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and no board response will be given. Are there any remarks to be heard at this time? Next item on the agenda, I'd like to invite Aaron Gold, Spear Financial, to deliver results of our bond sale. Aaron?
Evening, everyone.
How are we doing?
Very good, very good. Jeff and Jessica have invited me out this evening to present to you the results of the sale of the district's general obligation limited tax park bonds series 2023. Often refer to these bonds as the district's annual rollover bonds. We held a competitive sale yesterday where we received 6 bids. The low bid was 4.29% from Time Bank, Park Ridge, Illinois. The second place bid was 4.39% from State Bank in Wonder Lake, Illinois. So as your annual rollover bonds, these are general obligation limited tax. General obligation means that you're levying a direct property tax for the repayment of the principal and interest when due, but that it's limited or constrained. The first limit is how much of this you can have outstanding, total, and then the second limit is how much you can levy each year to repay the principal and interest when due. So when we're doing these as annual rollover bonds, the board is exercising its non-referendum bonding authority to fill that levying capacity each year, and specifically we're capturing the CPI growth afforded to you under the Patel legislation. So with the final interest rates afforded to from Park Ridge Community Bank, we increased this issue size by $8,015 to $1,182,385 to fill that levying capacity. And as an annual rollover bond, it has a closing date on November 30th in 2 weeks, and it has a final maturity on December 1st of 2024. Proceeds from this, approximately $738,000 of this proceeds will be used to make the payments due on the district's outstanding Series 2016A and 2023A alternate revenue source bonds, and will further generate approximately $430,000 in new money to support the capital initiatives of the district. Framing this interest rate of 4.29%, that's up 70 basis points from the prior year. Over the same time period, the one-year treasuries increased 61 basis points, and its current, at the time of pricing, is sitting at 5.24%. I've sold over 30 of these one-year rollovers for Illinois Park districts through this levy cycle, and this is the lowest bid I've received from a local bank. I therefore recommend that the district's general obligation limited tax park bonds series 2023 be awarded to Time Bank, Park Ridge, Illinois, at a price of $1,182,385 at a net interest cost of 4.29%. It's been a pleasure working on this issue with Jeff and Jessica. If you have any questions at all, I'm here to help. Thank you for your time.
Any questions for Aaron? Thank you very much, Aaron. Appreciate it. Excuse me. Next item, we would like to invite Colin McLean. If you could step to the podium. Colin is with Burt/Illinois Play Illinois and like to present some playground options for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David. Good evening, everybody.
My name is Colin McLean. I am a project manager for Play Illinois. I know what you're thinking, you know, who let this kid come and pitch this playground design, you know? But just a little bit about myself. After school, I studied business at the University of Iowa, and long story short.
Go Hawks.
And after school, long story short, I met our house landscape architect, Mike Maloney, as some of you guys may know. And he pretty much brought me on board, taught me about the playground business, and you know, I've been in love with it ever since, and just helping out communities all around the state of Illinois. Unfortunately, as you can see, Mike couldn't make it tonight, but I'm happy to present to you guys what we could provide for Hawthorne Melody Park. So if you want to get started with rendering 390-3. All good, no worries. All right, amazing.
You guys all see that on your screen?
Great, let's get started on this. So this is our more traditional design that we're providing for you guys. Starting out with the 5 to 12 structure, as you can see, it kind of ramps up from the sidewalk there. Oh, perfect. So from the sidewalk, there's a ramp structure, and that goes up to an 8-inch hex deck. That allows for ADA. Children with disabilities and wheelchairs can roll right onto the structure and play with the rest of the children on there and feel like they're a part of the action. Once they get up to the hex deck, there are about 4 different play panels up there that they could play around with. We have a crazy maze panel, an accessible car panel, simulates driving a car, and we have some drums as well up there. And then that goes onto transition stairs up to what I like to call, the star of the structure, the nucleus core climber, which is a rope climber that pretty much gets you all the way up to the top of the structure. What's cool about that is it can pretty much be climbed up in any which way possible. There are a bunch of different paths to climb up to the top of the structure, which kind of provides a little bit of a unique, playful device to get up onto the play event out there. Which comes up to a half hex deck, up to the Cobra Fusion slide, which is the big tan fast slide right up there. And that comes right on down, and a child can decide to loop back around and get themselves back on the structure by various different climbing components. We have traditional horizontal ladder on that 5 to 12 structure, as well as our pursuit climbers, which are kind of pod steppers that lead right back to the hex deck. As well as some tree branch climbers that go up a little bit taller up to the higher transition stairs up on the top there. So very cool 5 to 12 structure. I would say it's a little bit more on the traditional side, like I said, but still packs a lot of play value. And then as you can see over to the left-hand side, that is the smaller 2 to 5 structure. That comes with a beta climber, as well as a luge slide, which is a really cool competitive slide. Children can race down with each other. It's not just meant for one. 2 kids can slide down all at once. And to top it off, there's a little Monaco slide right on the other end there. If you could see it in the reverse view on the bottom right there. So shade on these structures. So we included a giant hexagonal shaped play canopy up on the top of that 5 to 12 structure, as well as some smaller elation roofs on the 2 to 5 structure. The reason we didn't go for a big old shade on that 2 to 5 was for budgetary reasons, but also those elation roofs are very nice at deflecting the sun at their angle. And then off to the way right, you see those 3 bays of swings that has 3 top swings, a freedom swing, which is for children with disabilities or younger children as well, and then 2 belt swings. And to top it all off, we have a zip line. Now everyone loves a zip line. That's probably my favorite thing. Burke had one of these outside their factory when I visited, and I was playing on it for 2 hours, and I'm a grown adult now. So, and then we have some freestanding in there, which there's a couple of ADA components as well with this. We have our inclusive orbit, which is just to the left of that sidewalk there. What's cool about this is a child in a wheelchair could roll right onto the spinner, and someone could push them and go around and around, have as much fun as any other kid within the play area as well. The thing I recommend about the inclusive orbit is that There probably should be poured-in-place rubber around it, seeing as it's a nice level area to get right onto that component instead of, wood chips are being kicked everywhere. Sometimes it would be hard to kind of push a wheelchair right up onto that component, which is nice because it's right next to the sidewalk too, so that kind of limits that need for surfacing. As well as some freestanding musical components, we have our play ensemble circuit drums, 3 drums at different tones. Children can use their creativity to create different sounds, and some in their inner Beethoven a little bit. And then we have a crescent chimes panel on the far side of that playground. It's right next to the horizontal ladder. Children can tap on the chimes. And then not to forget, last but not least, is the Comet 2 spinner over to the right-hand side of the play area, right next to the swings. 6 to 8 children can get onto that Comet 2 spinner, and they can all spin together, and it's very fast, and it makes me dizzy whenever I get on it, but it's a very, very fun component, one of my favorites. Not to forget about the sand play as well. We have a twist and swirl, which allows children to pick up sand, put it into the top there, and there's kind of these steel kind of platforms that swirl around it, and it kind of works in with the physics of sand, allows the sand to kind of flow and drop to the bottom, right back into the sand area. So that's the first design there. Hope you enjoy. So if we want to move on to the second design.
Any questions on the first design? Okay, please.
I just have,
Yeah, Commissioner Reynolds, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The 5 to 12 structure, that isn't too steep for a wheelchair to go up to it?
No, actually the hex deck is about 8 inches, and so that ramp is perfectly provided to allow for that smooth transition up to the hex deck. I think it's for every 12 feet, there could be a 1 foot rise within that ramp. So that ramp falls perfectly within standard and allows for children to not, roll up, and then if they stop rolling, they'll cascade on down to the bottom, right? So yeah, it's not a black diamond ski slope, I would say. But yeah, the tallest deck on that 5 to 12 structure is, I believe, 120 inches. So very tall, very fast, tall escaping tower. The kids will, be able to see from a ways away. When they pull into the parking lot, they'll love it. So any other questions?
Next.
All right, we'll go on to 393-3, which is a little bit more contemporary. Here we are. This rendering kind of brings the uniqueness and modern playscape that Burke has to offer in this time. And so as you can see in the bottom left, that's definitely not your traditional playground structure, which is, a really cool thing for children to be able to walk on and see that, hey, this is something different. This is a brand new thing that I've never seen before in any other playground. And what makes this level X structure very cool is children can perch and climb on any part of the structure. And so it's not just the center of it. We've actually gone all out with this structure. We've added right wings and left wings to this level X structure. Usually it's just the rubber belt leading up with a few of those rope climbers, but we expanded off, added a ton more different rope climbing, variety climbers, as well as a balance beam, a couple of other steel post climbers that kind of lead all back to the entrance of that, rubber belt climber in the center there. So that all leads up to about a 56-inch or 96-inch height down to our velo slide, which is tall, fast, has a steep angle, and then kind of swoops out at the bottom. And what's cool about it as well is at the bottom of that level X structure, we have sort of a serenity spot, which is great for ADA as well. A child in a wheelchair could, roll right underneath of the structure, or a child with autism. There's a variety of different things to play with in there. And, a nice little spot away from the action. So I know a lot of kids who want to be a part of the playground, who have those disabilities, don't necessarily want to be, completely, in the middle of everything. So, but it still has them close enough to the play area where they feel, invited and still, playing around. Over to the 2 to 5 structure, we have a crawl tube that leads up to the tall platform. That structure is about 40 inches at its tallest height. leads down to a nice rock and roll slide, nice and small for the 2 to 5 age group. There's another beta climber on there, and as well as those elation roofs. And the level X, we don't have any shade on that structure, seeing as it's not necessarily in compliance with the shade canopies on top. There's no way to really hook on a canopy on the top of that structure, but there are options to add some of our shade play max structures, which are the traditional 4-post, rectangular shades above the structure in itself. I've included a couple of sheets that have different sizes and dimensions within the proposal as well, so that is definitely an option moving forward. This design also has a zip line. We wanted to include that in both designs, seeing as, who doesn't love a zip line? And then we have our Comet 2 spinner once again, as well as a Brava swing. So if you're at NRPA, Burke loves to show off all of their extravagant new different products, which garner to not only able-bodied children, but also children with disabilities, and the Brava swing is just that, allowing for children to be put in the middle of this swing and have different handholds to be able to rock back and forth. As well as keeping the inclusive orbit in the corner there as well. So that's the same as the last design, the spinner where you could roll on with the wheelchair. Wanted to include a lot of different ADA components to add some more variety to this play space. 3 bays of swings, once again, same like the other design, 2 belts, 3 tots, and a freedom. And then in the middle there, we have our sand and water spot. Now it's right in the middle of that sand area. It's basically just a hemisphere that you could put sand within and let kids be creative and kind of make their own different designs with the sand. So yeah, other than that, with these 2 designs, we manipulated the borders to work themselves away from tightly around the use zones of the zip line to make sure that everything fits perfectly within both designs. So yeah, that is the 393-3 design. Are there any questions on this one?
Regarding the zip line, what type of angle are you looking at? How do you achieve on a flat surface, how do you achieve that angle? Just build a bigger structure on one side versus the other?
Yes, exactly. So pretty much the top on the steel posts are a little bit higher than on the lower end. So it'll provide that natural.
What kind of angle do you go down at, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I'm not quite sure, but I could provide that information at a later date. So yeah, we included your guys' requested color scheme. We could also, provide lighter tones, lower tones, anything that you guys are kind of thinking there. So there's a lot of maneuverability with it. So thank you guys for allowing me to present the designs here tonight.
Any questions for Colin regarding this design, or in general? Colin, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
You also.
Give me a second, I'm gonna bring in.
We will pause for a minute while we bring in the second presentation, Rick Biederman from Landscape Structures. Looks like blue. Yes, and Jeff. Jeff, did you request blue color scheme? He said we had to request a color scheme. We're blaming James. We're blaming James.
You can only do that for so many months, but yes, we'll blame.
Yeah,
We'll blame James.
We got a while.
I did go to the University of Ohio. I did my. Oh, you did? Yeah, I did my undergrad there.
I'm guessing that's a stand that you can step on for the older kids.
Q usually for you.
Yeah. The Hawkeye too.
Okay, you can't say anything about the Hawkeyes until they actually score a touchdown.
Yeah.
They did last week.
Just saying. Until you score a touchdown, we're not allowed to talk about them.
Did you see those? You can't see them over there.
Yeah.
You might want to bring them up front. Yeah. One if you like. We also have the screens too, Rick. Okay, so either one. You got 2.
We can see them on the screens if they're,
Can you? All right, I'll be so. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Rick, would you guys mind signing in, please?
What, is it in here? I didn't see it. 1480?
87, 86, 87.
Oh, okay. So far, I have my vote on the page. Oh, is this it?
It's like 84 to 87.
Yeah, true. Do we still have the motion?
You have to scroll through.
84. So it's like the first picture of what they
And with that, we will resume calling Rick Biederman from Landscape Structures / New Toys.
Thank you.
And you brought a guest with you?
This is Amy Kupferman.
Hello, Amy.
Amy is new to New Toys, and she came with to see an old guy fail here.
Couldn't have picked anyone better.
We all set?
You're good?
Okay, thank
It's
you.
all yours.
Let me get out of the way. I'm not sure where is the camera? I don't want to get in your way.
Don't worry about the camera. This is all about you.
Okay,
Grab the microphone though, Rick, they're gonna need to speak to hear you, okay?
testing.
You're good.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting us to your board meeting and giving us the opportunity to present for Hartman Park.
Not Hartman.
Not Hartman.
I'm sorry, not Hartman, that
Hawthorne Melody.
Hawthorne Melody, I'm sorry, I apologize. I commend the board, I commend Jeff, the rest of the staff for doing this. This is a complete rarity in this business anymore. Nobody takes the time to do this. This is old school, and we love it
To
because.
do what, Rick?
I'm sorry,
To do what?
present.
Okay.
Present to boards. Usually, a lot of park district schools will ask for poster boards. They put them up in a room, have a neighborhood come out, put little stickers on them and say, I like this one, this one, this one. The problem with that is you don't get to find out what the product really consists of, and it gives us an opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we do and why we do it. So, just to take a few minutes, our product, couple different variations as we gave you. Landscape Structures has been in the playground business 52 years. They have not changed their modules in 52 years, which is a positive because what you have are 10-foot long bridges, horizontal ladders, and things of that nature. You have decks that are 48 inches square. What does that mean? That means in 15 years, 20 years, if you want to rehab your structure, you can add new things to it. In 5 years, if you want to rehab it, you can add new things to it. We don't want something to break and not be able to fix it for you. Competitors will encourage you to put a piece of plywood up there and buy a new structure. We don't want that to happen. We actually rehabbed one of your parks, I believe it was this year, at Westwood. Is Westwood one? Yeah, I think we added some new components to that this year and a couple new pieces around the perimeter. So that's one of the positives with landscape. They got into the modular business 52 years ago, Barb and Steve King. Set up shop, sold redwood playgrounds out of their garage initially. They moved on to the modular playground metal business in 1985. Unfortunately, we lost Barb in 2006. Steve, her husband, continued in the business. He was the main designer for the corporation. He has since retired. The two of them have given the entire 100% of the business to the employees. It's a 100% employee-owned business. The pride that the employees take in what they do is absolutely phenomenal. I've been fortunate. I've been with them 42 years. I go up there every year, and it just amazes me what they do and how they do it and why they do it and the pride they take in what they do. So that tells you a little bit about what they do. The quality of their materials, we think, are first class. The decking material that we use, as you see here, we vinyl coat a lot of different things. We vinyl coat handrails, we vinyl coat decks, we vinyl coat bridges, planks, things of that nature. And just little details, you know, we don't use big holes in our decks for a reason. We don't like kids to stand underneath the deck and put their fingers through and get stepped on. We use small holes, so the kids can't do that. When we attach an enclosure or a panel, see if I can find a good picture, like up here on this 10-foot high deck, the enclosures that are on there attached to the bottom of the deck, something similar to this. This is a panel on the side, but if you could picture this on the bottom, the panel attaches to the side of the deck and up at the top with a clamp. Why do we do that? We do that so little ones can't put their feet through the bottom. When they get up here in this 10-foot high deck, we don't want their foot to get through the bottom of that panel and get stuck. So it's a panel that is pre-drilled and attaches directly into the side of the deck, as you see there. What that does too is, depending on who your installer is, if he's not familiar, he has no choice but to attach it to the side of the deck. Many, many years ago, before we did that, we would go out there and we'd find panels installed 8 inches above, 4 inches down. They were all over the place, and they would create all kinds of illegal spaces that this makes it a heck of a lot easier. Material-wise, this is a skate that goes in a zip cruise, like you see here. There's a zip cruise in both of your designs. Best adult toy ever made. If you haven't ridden one, you need to get on one. It's great fun. It's got a little toggle seat on it that you sit on. Some of you find the older kids will stand on it and hold on to the cable. The skate fits in the channel. The channel is all aluminum. There are stoppers at each end. I don't know if you can see them. They're big rubber bumpers at each end. The skate itself has urethane wheels that glide. Got urethane glides on the side also, and then your toggle attaches here. Very, very well built. Cable materials that are used throughout the structure, whether it be climbing apparatus, whether it be space nets, whatever the case may be. And on the new product that I know some of you saw at NRPA with the Forma product, this is what a big portion of it is. It's cable materials that has wire inserts inside, so you can't cut through them. It's really tough stuff. We've used this cable for many, many years. The hardware used throughout our structures is all stainless steel. It's inside the package here. We do all individual packaging for every piece. A cladder bridge, a slide, a turning bar. Again, trying to help volunteers who install it or trying to help the installer. He doesn't just get a big box of hardware. He gets an individual bag for every piece, for cladder bridge, slide, climbing ladder, chain ladder, whatever it may be. And it even has a picture on it. There's a picture of what it sits. And this all comes from, I did a lot of volunteer installs over my years, and they are great listeners. We still do a lot of volunteer installs, moms and dads on weekends putting up school playgrounds. And as a result, they're looking at pictures. And of course, most of the men don't read the instructions, you know. So the picture does help. So that tells you a little bit about the parts. Colors, when you get ready to pick colors, narrow your committee down to like 2. Because you'll have a street fight if you got 8 people on the committee and you got 40 different colors. The options are enormous. And shades in this design, and no, that one doesn't have them. But this design has some shade in it. The shade fabrics come in many multiple colors also. So that tells you a little bit about the product. Any questions I can answer regarding the product? Then I'll get into the design a little bit. Maybe you want to pass out. Actually, give them each, all of them. That's the same packet that's on the board. It's something you can take home with you.
Okay. Good. This way.
Thank you.
You can make more too. There's that second one there too. No, that one there. Go ahead and pass that out. The ones she's passing out now are just some special features that I talked a little bit about. Thank you. And it kind of points out, you can look at it at your leisure, but it's got a lot of different detail and some of the special things that we do. Front and back side. So, looking at your options. Option 1, what we did, if you look in the bottom right, we took your space, and then, can you guys see that up on the board? It's hard to see over here, but the space available, we fit with both a 2 to 5-year-old and a 5 to 12-year-old playground. And we created some shade, and what we try to do is create so many ways up and so many ways down when we build a playground. We don't want them staying in one spot too long. We want them moving constantly. So what you have here on the, going back to the 2 to 5 playground, your decks are generally smaller, usually on a 4.5, 5 foot maximum height on the 2 to 5. You've got a couple slides on there. You've got a transfer point for accessibility. You've got the cool topper shade. Going to the 5 to 12, we've got, again, a transfer module. Both structures are accessible. We've got a alpine slide. This is one of my favorite slides. It's a big, wide-mouthed slide. As you come down, it turns and curves, and it's got a big chute on it, and the kids really enjoy that, and it's all one piece. Also on here, you've got a couple climbers on the back side, and there is a front and back that shows these too. So you've got a snake climber on the back, you've got some activity panels, and then what we did was we took the Forma product that I know some of you saw in Dallas, and we continued modularly with Forma. Forma, bringing it across from a couple pods to a balance beam to the Forma piece. This is just a great piece. This is a climber, it's a connector, it's got a rubber bridge across the top, different shape, vertical climbing, horizontal climbing, just a lot to do on that. And then as they continue to play, we've got swings in the background, we've got belt swings, we've got top swings, we've got a molded accessible seat. And then, of course, Zip Cruise. Zip Cruise is 34 feet long. Glider, once you come across, it hits a high point, and it'll bring you pretty far back the other direction too. But there are landing platforms at each end. We like the landing platform because we want the kids to have some place to set their feet when they get to each end. So that's option 1. Option 2, well, I'll just leave it in there. Option 2 has one of our, in the 2 to 5 playground, has one of our Smart Play clubhouses in there. You did one similar to that across the street at the pool last summer, from the kind of the same mold, but a little bit smaller. I think it was across the street, wasn't it? The one in the sand area? Yeah, there was one similar to that. But this one is a little different. This is, it's got another group of activities to it. It's got a crawl tunnel. It's got climbers. It's got a little house inside there. The windows are open. It's not totally enclosed. You've got different panels around the perimeter. It's got the transfer point off of it. And then there's a little belt on the bottom here that I've seen them use, like a little surfboard. And they also use it for a little seat. They'll lay on it and glide back and forth on it also. So that's the 2 to 5. Also in the 2 to 5 area is the seesaw, the sit-down seesaw. And then there is some musical pieces, some Rhapsody pieces over there. Going to the 5 to 12 area, this is probably a better picture. On this one, I put a tower structure. I like the towers. I think the towers are fun, they're impressive. We say 2 to 5, 5 to 12, but you know what? The 3 and 4-year-olds are generally on the big kid structure 90% of the time anyhow. I'm not a big 2 to 5 person. We have to provide them, and you know, for Oslod and for Grant and everything else, they require them. But when you having 9 grandkids now, going to a lot of parks, the 3 and 4-year-olds, they want nothing to do with the 2 to 5. They want to be up on the highest point of the big structure at the beginning. So, taking that for granted, when we design our 5 to 12s, everything is designed for accessibility, and it's designed with the daycare standard in mind, which is 8-inch increments. So we go from 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72. Little ones can climb all the way up to a 6, 8, or 10-foot high deck. You have access to, this is a double stack deck. You've got a 4-foot, I'm sorry, a 6-foot and a 10-foot deck here. From the 6 to the 10, there's a little porthole through the middle that you climb up through. What you have on this are 4 different slides. You've got the alpine slide again. You've got a huge slide winder slide coming off the 10-foot deck. On the back side, there's a double slide here at 4 feet. That's at 6. So you got 4, 6, 10, and 10. You got 4 different slides on there with lots of different climbing activity leading up to it also. Independent-wise, we put a chill spinner on here. Chill spinner twirls around. It's a seat that you sit in and you spin. Drums, some bongo type drums to play with. There's a saddle spinner here, and the zip cruise again, the little glider on the zip cruise. So those are 2 different ideas that we put together for you. Again, colors, you've got 50 different options, so don't get hung up on the colors that we did here. You can do whatever you choose. Questions?
How long is the zip line at Kids Castle?
How long has it been there?
No, how long is it? This is 34 feet?
I believe it's 34 also.
It's the same?
Yeah. Now, we have a 55 and a 66 also.
I don't know that those would fit necessarily really
Yeah.
well in
The
this.
55
little
and
more compact.
66 take up a lot of space. When you have to add 6 feet on each end, you're taking a 76-foot space for one event. The 34 glides across nice in 3 or 4 seconds. The next child gets on. It moves pretty freely back and forth.
I have a question about option 2, the tower. So am I seeing it correctly that the supports that support the roof, the supports are on the inside, not the outside?
Correct.
So
They go,
lessens the climbing opportunity of a child that wants to try and get on the roof.
well, they will, but
But I'm just
matter of fact, I was out
trying to
at
picture
Kid
that.
Castle one day. I went out there to take some pictures one summer afternoon, and the castle, the high tower out there, we purposely put Lexan plexiglass over the holes so kids wouldn't stick their head out there or use it to step on. There were 3 12, 13-year-old boys on top of the roof the day I went out there, and they were climbing up every little piece that they could latch their foot on. So, but in answering your question, that what happened, you have bent posts, pipes, I should say, that allow the roof to attach to. But they're pretty difficult because they're all on the inside of the roof. There's nothing on the outside.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Rick? Or Amy?
Last thing, you want to pass those on? I'm sorry. I put a customer list together for you of Lake County and North Cook County. You can see some of the places we have been, and I'll give you an idea of where we've done business over the years. And one thing you'll note on there are lots and lots of playgrounds that are 15, 20 years old that we're not embarrassed to leave on that list the way they look after that many years. And I think a couple of them are even yours. So I appreciate the opportunity. Again, thank you for taking the time to do this. It's fun. It's fun.
Thank you very much for coming, Rick. Amy, thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and do your tab. Now, study all that, because I'm gonna be back next week to give a test.
Okay.
That's the old school teacher in me.
While Rick cleans up, we're gonna move on to board reports, or staff reports for the board. Lacey, if you'd like to join the podium. Lacey Marinenko, Facility Manager, Lakeview Fitness.
Okay, good evening. I struggle with the mic. Okay, facility attendance for Lakeview Fitness in October was 7,978 visits, which was 994 unique visits, so this was an increase of almost 900 visits over the course of the month. Monthly and annual memberships currently total 1,328.
Bring music to your report? You're showing us up. Showing us up.
No, it's the new
It's the new toys video.
Oh.
It's a flyover of the, yeah.
He forgot to have us play that.
The inside of it.
That's a little something extra to my
I have
report.
You're
dancers.
being upstaged, Lacey, hold on.
I have dancers with my reports.
Do you?
Good, there we go. We're good.
Alright, monthly and annual memberships currently total 1,328, which is an increase of 41 memberships from October. The 2 front restrooms at Lakeview Fitness just had their flooring replaced. They finished it up this morning and it looks great. Patty and Heather, Patty Monticelli and Heather Rabbit both completed their first year of professional development school this month in Galena, and both reported that it was a great learning experience. Lakeview Fitness is participating in Toys for Tots again this holiday season. Community members are welcome to drop off toy donations in the donation box, which is located in the lobby. And our holiday hours for Thanksgiving we will be closed Thanksgiving Day, and for Thanksgiving Friday we'll be open 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. For programming, on December 9th, we will be hosting our next Flick and Flow. We'll be showing The Grinch, which will be starting at 6 p.m. We currently have about 65 registered for that, so right around 50% for our capacity at the moment. And thank you to School District 73 that will be coming out and providing the refreshments for that evening. The winter group exercise schedule is set to begin December 4th. There are no major changes, except that we will be moving the patio classes inside as the weather gets colder. No. We have a few pop-up classes in December, the one-day pop-ups on December 15th. We have Holiday Spirit Zumba, on the 21st, Winter Solstice Yoga, and on the 31st, Palm Squad Fitness. And on November 27th, Lakeview will be hosting the 50th anniversary celebration for the Park District. Along with an open swim and refreshments, we will have a $50 off promo on select annual memberships. So this is for the primary memberships only, and for new memberships only. This is not on renewals. And this promotion is available both online and in person. And one thing I neglected to add to my report was the winter student break promo that is starting December 1st. This is 30 days for $30 for our students that are coming back from school. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Lacey? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Recreation Superintendent without music, Tom Ritter.
No dancers, nothing.
You can dance, Tom.
Not as fun as mine.
All right, good evening.
Neither do we.
Just wanted to mention that our inaugural Dia de los Muertos event, which we held a couple weeks ago, went really, really well. Very happy. It was unique to me because I'm so used to having bounce houses and games and running around, and it wasn't that type of event. It was more passive. The games we had were some cultural variations of like top spinning games and bingo, some tattoo art for face and coloring, but it was very well received. We had about 100 people, which I thought was great for a first time event, and I think if we do this again, well, we will do this again next year. I think it's going to increase pretty well in attendance just from word of mouth. It went really well. So I just wanted to mention a thank you to Gabby Cervantes. Gabby works over at District 73. She helps us with a lot of events, and they use their budget to help provide the food and candy. There were some cultural foods that they brought. It was all free. It was all given away to everybody. So very nice. Our annual Letters to Santa program continues to be extremely successful, almost too successful. We need more elves. But starting a week from Monday, the 27th, here at the Sullivan Center, we'll have the mailbox installed outside in the front until December 11th. And any kids who drop off their letters to Santa, please put a return address on there so Santa can send them a reply.
Santa magically found us last winter without the address. So thank you.
Okay. You never know. Our New Year's Eve party, I've mentioned before, it always does sell out. It will be December 29th this year, Friday night, the 29th from 4 to 6:30. It's the family New Year's Eve party where we do the balloon drop and we have snacks and games and lots of fun. It's $7 per person. Pizza and drinks are not included, but we have them available since it's right during the dinner hour. It is not sold out yet, so people who are watching this, you can still sign up. And just to mark ahead on the calendar, Winterfest is one of our free annual events, which is held over at Century Park North. It's on Saturday, January 13th from 11 to 2. And there's just some unique things we always do. We have carriage rides, horse and carriage rides, which I did not list on here, but we plan to do. We get the sled dog demo team every year. They're not secured yet, but we're working on it. If the weather permits, ice skating, sledding, kids crafts. We have a campfire with marshmallows and s'mores. If it is warm or we don't have the snow or ice, we still hold the event. We just modify it a little bit. The sled dogs they put wheels on the sleds instead of just cruising on the ice, so we'll still make it work. So January 13th, again, free, no reason to sign up, just show up that day. I mentioned on here pickleball, the schedule expands as we approach winter. It's really not expanding. There is no pickleball in the summer. It's all outside. We don't do anything in the Sullivan Center. So it's really, we offer a couple nights a week, a couple days a week of pickleball. So Sundays from 9 a.m. to noon, and Monday evenings from 5:30 to 8:30. We have pickleball. It is resident only. We get that question once in a while. It used to be open to anybody, but the long lines are we can't accommodate everybody based on space. So it's $5 admission, drop in. It's $3 for seniors, 62 and older, and anyone who's a Lakeview Fitness member, it's free. And just finally, both our Little Learners Preschool, based out of the Sullivan Center, and our Little Learners Childcare, based out of Lakeview Fitness, both have a holiday winter celebration coming up in December. At the Sullivan Center, the preschool event takes place on December 6th,
and childcare takes place on December 1st. So, other questions? That's my report.
Any questions, John?
Tom, the letter to Santa,
Yeah.
what is that?
So the kids will write a list, basically, of what they want for Christmas, or if they want to talk to Santa or the elves. And then we get that sent to the North Pole, to that mailbox, and then the kids get a response sent to them.
And what is the response, a toy that they're asking for?
No, it's not,
Just a letter.
it's a letter.
Confirming, thank you for letting us know what to do. We'll see what we can do about giving you. Janice, why
It's
don't you-
personal. It's like, now I know why there are so many elves out there working, because the letters are very personal to what the child wrote. And so super thoughtful. So the kids open them up and they're like, oh my gosh, Santa wrote to me.
Be good.
Be good, yes.
Good watch
Yes.
for you. Good watch. So,
Yeah.
just a nice little touch.
So that,
Go ahead.
so if a child writes a letter from a disadvantaged family or whatever, asking for something, then we don't supply that.
We don't supply anything. Santa Claus does what Santa does.
We basically help
Letters aren't
facilitate.
sent to somebody to help.
Letters are sent to Santa.
Yeah, we help facilitate, get those letters to Santa and the response sent.
Commissioner Geraldo?
My question was in the spirit of approaching winter. Do we still have like open gym, like for basketball or for kids to come in? Does that exist? I tried personally looking for where that was and I couldn't find it anywhere.
It's on the website, we have open gym, like monthly schedules.
Okay.
And so every month Jay will put in their open gyms for adult basketball, youth basketball.
Okay.
Pickleball's obviously in there, there's volleyball in there those are more scheduled. We've tried open volleyball and we don't really get a response.
Okay.
We have a volleyball program where people come in and volley big time, but it's mainly basketball, and we do have it scheduled throughout. And over the holiday break, we add more because, the kids are home from school.
Okay.
But yeah, we do have, it's not listed in the program guide as a class type thing. You'd have to go onto the website and look under the open gym schedule.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, John? Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Next item is Marketing and Communication Manager, Cheryl Buman. Cheryl?
Good evening, everybody. Our 2024 Winter Spring Guide, our first of the new year, will be posted to our website on Tuesday, November 21st. We have a email going out tomorrow, just to give a little explanation. We received through Facebook, social media, that some people were interested in seeing what programs we offer. We physically don't have our guides. They're not here from the printer yet. And we rely on the printer actually to give us the final PDF too. So it was a team effort yesterday working with our rec staff and our registration staff. And so as of yesterday afternoon, all of our programs are searchable on our website now. You can go into our ActiveNet through search programs or on many of our program pages. Let's say, for example, karate. It will say register for karate programs. You could click on that link and it will show you all of the programs that are currently in session and all of the ones that are being offered all through the spring. So the email going out tomorrow will let people know if they're interested in searching and seeing what's coming up, they can do so before Monday when everything is, Tuesday on the 21st when they're already posted to the website. Also, on November 21st, our annual report will also be posted to the website, and when people click on the link, they'll see it in the guide. They can hover with their camera over the QR code. It will lead them right to the webpage that has our full annual report. We've had some emails going out about our adult basketball leagues, and I think Jay's had a pretty good response for that this year. Our charitable giving, and I'll just kind of speak about that now. Our giving trees are up in our Sullivan Center and also Lakeview Fitness. Tomorrow, our emails are going out letting people know that the giving trees are in both facilities and what they support. They support our Family Scholarship Fund. People can make donations online or in person. They can choose different colored stars and donate $50, $25, or really any amount that they wish. And all of the donations go directly to our Family Scholarship Fund, which supports kids in need from families, helps them go to camp, summer camp, just all different types of recreation programs that they normally wouldn't be able to afford without the scholarship fund. the giving trees will be up through, let me just see where I have that here. They'll be up through January 15th in our facilities, but again, people can give all year round. That's just creating awareness of our Family Scholarship Fund. Our Lakeview Fitness Geofencing campaign is about halfway through. It will end mid-December. We have new ads starting this week that are promoting the $50 off one-day membership special on November 27th. So it's just kind of letting people know what's out there, what we're offering, encouraging them to come in and take a tour and go for a visit and celebrate our 50th anniversary. And then soon after that, and the campaign will go to our winter student break special, and that will take us through mid-December when the geofencing campaign is over. Lacey and I have another group phone call tomorrow, and we'll discuss how the campaign's going, how our geofencing's going. So I will, at the end of it all, we'll do an overall report of how our first larger geofencing campaign went. Lacey went over our 50th anniversary day at Lakeview, so thank you, Lacey. Thank you to everybody who donated warm weather wear for our Midwest Veterans Coat Drive. I think the program is ending soon.
It ended yesterday.
It ended yesterday, so thank you to everybody who donated to that. And we also at the Sullivan Center have the Toys for Tots boxes, and just let people know, please do not wrap your toys, leave them unwrapped, and you can donate anything from newborn to 16 years old. And those will be in our facilities until December 15th. Our social media over the Halloween for Lakeview and Sullivan, our general park district, went really, really well. We did Halloween themed trivia, we had Little Learners Child Care door decorating contest, fitness challenges, clues about Sully's Halloween costume, all leading up to Halloween. During this week, the 7 days, there was over 81,000 impressions, 6,000 engagements, twice as many than the previous month, and we increased 70 followers across 1 month. So it was very, very successful. And that's all the new news I have for this month, if there's any questions.
Any questions for Cheryl? Hello.
Yep.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Next item is Finance and HR Superintendent, Jessica Mitchell. Jessica?
Hello. In October, the district received just under $600,000 of property tax revenue. Through October, the district has received 94.5% of the 2018 $6,031,318 tax levy. This is on track with the past years as well. As of October 30th, the district has $11,890,000 in cash and investments. The district has invested $7,490,000 in 34 certificates of deposit and treasury bills with various maturing dates over the next 60 months, and $4,400,000 is available for cash flow purposes. All excess cash is invested in the Fifth Third Bank Money Market Fund at 3.5%. In October, capital expenditures were $158,000. All additional audit requirements have been accomplished. This includes help from Lauterbach and Amon completing the GFOA Certificate of Achievement application on behalf of the district, which was submitted on October 30th for our annual comprehensive financial report from fiscal 2023. Additionally, they filed the fiscal year ending 2023 audit with the state comptroller on November 7th. All of these duties are within their agreement. The annual comprehensive financial report for fiscal year 23 was filed with the Lake County Clerk's Office. A copy of the annual report is available on our website, and notice was printed in the Vernon Hills Review on November 2nd. A draft of the bond ordinance number 7-23 was included in your board packet, and the updated figures were emailed earlier today from yesterday's bond sale that Aaron Gold reported on. We will be accepting a FedEx package coming tomorrow that we will have signatures that will be needed by President Dorhofer, and we will get those papers back to Chapman and Cutler for closing, and then filing also with the Lake County. Truth in taxation compliance for the 2023 tax levy requires the district to hold a truth in taxation hearing, which is scheduled for November 30th at 5 p.m. here at the Sullivan Center. We also are required to submit a newspaper publication providing notice of the estimated amount of the proposed 2023 aggregate levy exceeding 105% of the amount extended upon the final 2022 aggregate levy. Our notice was printed today in Pioneer Press, and a copy of that publication was included also in your board packet. We also have the same notice published on our district website under District News, which will be up today through December 1st. The tax levy ordinance number 8-23 will be on the December board meeting agenda for adoption. The tax levy ordinance filing deadline and required certifications must be provided to the county clerk no later than the last Tuesday in December. Also in your board packet was a copy of the SRA CLC resolution 6-23. The amount reflected the accessibility improvements for the next budget year, which amounted to $346,606. Switching gears to human resources, I would just like to highlight that the superintendent of parks position is still posted on the district website and the IPRA job board. We do ask that interested candidates apply for all of the district's open positions, visiting the district's website. But for this one specifically, the superintendent of parks, we will be accepting applications until December 1st. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Commissioner Robbins.
Just one question, Jessica. I see that our money market fund at Fifth Third is paying 3.5%. Fifth Third has money markets now that are paying 5.3%. So maybe you could check into that. It's substantially higher than obviously the 3.5%.
Yes, actually had a conversation with Jessica Curran. She's our contact at Fifth Third, and that conversation was maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And that I've been touching base with her and seeing what we can do there and what increase we can get. Today she said that things have been slow moving, but she's still looking to get back with me. So I'm just kind of waiting to get back a response.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do we have so many candidates that have applied already that we would close the rec so quickly? I just feel like December 1st, that's James's backfill.
We do have a handful of candidates. I don't know exactly how many. Shauna's managing it, working closely with Jeff. But we do have people who have reached out and just have questions to ask, have been encouraged to apply, and then a couple different, I don't know how many it's been, but we do have a handful coming in with experience, so that's helpful.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Next would be Executive Director Jeff Fugero. Jeff?
Okay, well, I have breaking news.
Breaking. Lay it out.
If you're a Cubs fan.
Uh-oh.
All in on Shohei Ohtani, and the rumor is it's gonna be a massive deal that he's not gonna be able to deny it. So, any of you know anything about baseball, he's probably one of the greatest players ever in the history of the game. And it'd be great to see him in a Cubs uniform.
So you've got breaking rumor. And I'm sure you started it, so.
I'm starting it right here. Commissioner Geraldo, just to follow up on, we have somewhere probably in the high teens of applicants for the superintendent of parks position. One of the things kind of unique to our industry is it's primary to post it on our IPRA job board. That's typically where you're going to get 90+% of any of the applicants that are qualified are going to see that. That was posted 2 weeks ago, and we got an onslaught like right out of the gate. We do require to have a degree for the position, so that's going to eliminate several people that we have already seen that have applied. It's something any division head within the agency has to have a degree, a 4-year degree. So we've gone through one local individual, and then we've got multiple interviews scheduled for early next week with, I would say multiple, but at least 2 that I know of. And then we're looking at just the extra maybe handful. The initial stage with Shauna
And then both Matt Merrick, who's our parks foreman, and David Swike, who's our facility foreman, who directly report to the park superintendent, are in on the initial interviews. And then if there is an advancement of a candidate, then Jessica and I will be brought in for that. And at the end of the day, I'll be making the final decision on that selection, okay? So just update on that. You had the bond ordinance before you. That comes up a little bit later in your packet on that adoption. We talked a little bit about the truth in taxation hearing, which is 2 weeks from tonight, 5 o'clock. Please let me know if you're able. We want to make sure we have a quorum. Usually those hearings don't go very long, but we just want to make sure that it is a public meeting, that at least I have 2 or 3 of you to attend that. So if you can't make it, please let me know. Our spray ground update. All I can say is, every day we get more and more frustrated. It's literally being held up by one individual at Lake County that oversees, really doesn't oversee it, is just a gatekeeper on the Lake County Stormwater Management Commission that's had our application since the 1st of September. In her defense, she's down 2 full-time people, so she's reviewing all these applications. We've done through WT Engineering, who's really our engineering consultant. They've already had an outside third-party wetland consultant perform what they were supposed to do in vetting and making sure we weren't going to be any kind of invading in any wetland areas. They felt very confident that we were not. We're just waiting for Lake County. And the village will not allow us to advance until we get that permission. So I sent her an email today. I'm waiting to hear back. 8 days ago, we were number 8 on her list. 10 days before that, we were number 9 on the list. So if that's any pace, every day gets delayed. Our excavating team is ready to go. So the more this gets out, we were planning on getting approved and starting in early October. It's now the middle of November. And I can tell you, rest assured, it's not going to happen before the end of this month. So it could be early December, which for all intents and purposes may, position us to get this thing done. We were shooting for 4th of July next year. It could be mid to late August at this pace. So that's just where we're at on that. Amy and Jessica and I will be attending a joint accreditation committee meeting this Monday. That's from our recognition that I know Amy presented at the last board meeting she spearheaded on behalf of the organization, that accreditation. And the board reviews and just kind of blesses it. We're very confident that everything's going to go through. I've spoken to a few members on that review board, and they've told us, I think we came to you last month. We had a total of 495 points for 496. 496. I don't want to miss that one out of 500. It's one of the highest scores out of all the applicants this year. So should be proud of that as an organization. But quite frankly, Amy, and I know she doesn't like to take credit, but she's really the one that impresses on everybody to do their due diligence, to keep us just informed on our obligations as individuals, and making sure that we are compliant with the necessities that we should be. So anyway, we're really excited about that. We talked to you a little bit about a special meeting that we're going to have at our next board meeting at 5 p.m. to go over some future financial considerations for the district. So please, again, if you have any questions for our legal counsel and our financial advisor, address those to me in advance so that these 2 individuals can come prepared to that meeting to answer any of your specific questions. Okay, the strategic plan. I gave you all a copy of that in draft form that Sarah completed a little over a week ago. I'm going to be meeting with her on Monday morning for next steps. So from this point, to try and tie in a comprehensive plan, and let me back up. Originally, you saw the plan, and it was a 3-year strategy plan. We would like, as a staff, we would like to recommend to stretch that to a 5-year plan. The tasks or the initiatives that are embedded in this plan are just going to be very challenging for us as an organization to meet. And so, fast forward, there's several other components that we want to make sure we include in this comprehensive plan. I'm only meeting with her on Monday to provide some of the essential efficiencies for her to deliver to get us over into that next stage. So it's more of just an opportunity for her to present an additional plan for us and basically her costs to help lead it. From there, we'll map it all out. I've asked Commissioner Sente to assist with that part. She's done a lot of this, obviously, for a living. I have not, in terms of a comp plan. And so there's a lot of kind of unique elements here that we want to make sure we get this right. And obviously, we want to map it out in draft form. We will then share it with the rest of the board and the leadership team to make sure. So this could be a process. We want to include our capital improvement plan, which we'll address with the board in January. So this comprehensive plan is likely first quarter of next year before we feel comfortable that we can present something that, you know, we're all happy with. That is all I've got right now. I did talk to some of you about just the village and their support of the spray ground. Commissioner Jacobs had a good idea at their December 12th meeting that, you know, if it is on their ordinance, that we attend as a board in unison if we can, and thank them for that you know, great contribution to help kind of take this thing over the finish line. So I'll find out a little bit more and make sure that December 12th date is good. That's all I got. Anybody have any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions for Jeff?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, there are no commissioner committee reports or communication. Next, we move on to correspondence. We did receive a letter from Senator Adrian Johnson. It reads, "Dear friends, it is my esteemed honor to congratulate you on receiving the Best of the Best statewide award in the Intergovernmental Cooperation category. Out of several park districts, forest preserves, conservation, and recreation agencies throughout the state, you were selected as the best recipient of this prestigious award. I am pleased to know that your impact through intergovernmental relations has been beneficial to the community and residents you serve. Thank you for all your cooperation, and I look forward to the incredible work that the Park District will continue to do in the near future. As always, my office is a resource, so please feel free to reach out at any time. We are happy to help. Sincerely, Adrian Johnson, State Senator, 30th District." So, very nice. There is no unfinished business, so we will move to new business. The first item of new business is the Truth in Taxation Resolution 5-23. Each year, the Park Board is required to meet formally and estimate the amount of money they will receive to levy to cover the operating costs for the next fiscal year. At tonight's meeting, the board will vote on Resolution 5-23.
Excuse me. I want to just back up. It's not what we receive, it's what they will need, what we will need.
What we will need, I'm sorry,
Need to
yes.
not receive.
What we'll need, you're right, I apologize. So let me rephrase that. Each year, the Park Board is required to meet formally and estimate the amount of money they will need to levy to cover the operating costs for the next fiscal year. At tonight's meeting, the board will vote on Resolution 5-23 to levy an estimated $4,605,400 in property taxes less debt service in December of 2023. This estimate represents a 7.5% increase over 2022 tax levy. The 7.5% increase is based on the estimate for the 2022 tax year EAV, that is equalized assessed value, and will be reduced based on the actual EAV before any tax dollars are extended. The levy increase is based on the rising cost of living, an increase in property growth, and the expansion and improvement of Park District facilities. By state of Illinois, A truth in taxation hearing is required to be held any year the park board determines that the current year's estimated levy will exceed the prior year's actual levy by 5% or more. Since the estimate for 2023 does exceed the 2022 levy by more than 5%, a truth in taxation hearing will be held this year on November 30th at 5 p.m. at the Sullivan Community Center, 635 North Aspen Drive, Vernon Hills, Illinois. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 5-23?
So moved.
Second? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo?
Yes.
Vice President Senti?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes. The next item of new business is the SRA CLC Accessibility Resolution 6-23. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 6-23?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo?
Yes.
Vice President Senti?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes. The final item in the new business is Ordinance 7-23, an ordinance providing for the issue of 1,182,385 general obligation limited tax park bonds, Series 2023B, for the payment of land condemned or the purchase of parks, for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same, and the existing land and facilities of the Park District, to provide the revenue source for the payment of certain outstanding bonds of the Park District, and for the payment of the expenses incident hereto, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. May I have a motion to approve Ordinance 7-23?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? That's a mouthful. Roll call.
Commissioner Geraldo?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Vice President Senti?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes. Commissioner comments, Commissioner Jacobs.
No comments tonight.
Commissioner Robbins.
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Sente.
I would like to wish State Senator Johnson well. She was in Springfield and was in a car accident, so we just hope that she is doing better and feeling better.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Geraldo.
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
And myself, again, echoing that, happy Thanksgiving. Having addressed all the items on the agenda, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo?
Yes.
Vice President Senti?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes, it is 7:19. The regular board meeting is now adjourned.
Yay.